Emily and Elizabeth, identical twin sisters, were born to a loving mother, Mrs. Acquia. They grew up in a small town in Nigeria, where they were inseparable. They did everything together, from going to school to playing sports. As they grew older, Emily and Elizabeth began to realize that they were different from other girls. They felt a deep emotional connection with each other, and they began to develop romantic feelings. At first, they were confused and scared. They didn't know what to make of their feelings, and they were afraid of being rejected by their mother and society. But as they grew older, they realized that their love for each other was real, and they couldn't deny it. They began to secretly date, always looking over their shoulders, afraid of being caught. Their mother, Mrs. Acquia, was a successful businesswoman who owned a big store where she sold dried fish in large quantities. She was known for her kindness and generosity. But she was also strict and traditional. Emily and Elizabeth were afraid of telling their mother about their relationship. They knew that she would be shocked and disappointed, and they didn't want to lose her love and support, so they kept their relationship a secret, always sneaking around and lying to their mother about where they were going and who they were with. But one day, their mother caught them kissing in their room. She was shocked and heartbroken, and she didn't know what to do. She confronted Emily and Elizabeth, who confessed to being in a romantic relationship. Their mother was torn between her love for her daughters and her disapproval of their relationship. She tried to convince them to end their relationship, but Emily and Elizabeth refused. They told their mother that they loved each other, and they couldn't deny their feelings. Their mother was devastated. She didn't know what to do, and she felt like she was losing her daughters. She invited so many powerful pastors and prayer warriors. They prayed, fasted, and advised the twin sisters, but nothing worked. As the days went by, the tension between Emily, Elizabeth, and their mother grew thicker. Emily and Elizabeth felt like they were being rejected by their mother, and they began to distance themselves from her. Their mother was heartbroken. She felt like she was losing her daughters, and she didn't know how to get them back. One day, Emily and Elizabeth decided to leave home and start a new life together. They packed their bags and said goodbye to their mother, who was devastated. As they walked away from their home, Emily and Elizabeth felt a mix of emotions. They were excited to start their new life together, but they were also sad to be leaving their mother behind. They knew that they would never be able to go back home, and they were determined to make a new life for themselves. As they settled into their new home, Emily and Elizabeth began to build a new life together. They made new friends, and began to live their lives openly and honestly. Their mother, Mrs. Acquia, was heartbroken. She missed her daughters terribly, and she wished that she could turn back the clock and accept them for who they were, but it was an abomination. After Emily and Elizabeth left their mother's house, they began making plans for their future together. They started preparing for their wedding, excited to spend the rest of their lives with each other. However, their mother, Mrs. Acquia, was devastated when she heard the news. She couldn't understand why her daughters would engage in such a taboo relationship. Desperate for answers, Mrs. Acquia sought the guidance of several prophets and pastors. One prophet, renowned for his wisdom and insight, revealed a shocking truth. "Woman, you were desperate for a child, and your desperation led you to seek help from a wicked sorcerer. She granted your wish, but at a terrible cost. Your daughters were born with a curse, one that has manipulated their feelings and actions." The prophet's words left Mrs. Acquia stunned and heartbroken. "What can I do to break this curse?" she begged. The prophet's response was firm. "You must bring 7 cows and 7 white chickens as a sacrifice. Only then can the curse be lifted, and your daughters restored to their rightful minds." Mrs. Acquia was torn between her love for her daughters and her fear of the unknown. But she knew she had to act. She purchased the required animals and presented them to the prophet.